Hello students, I am Amarnath, working as lecturer chemistry in Government Senior Secondary School Jafarwal, Gurdaspur. Today my topic of discussion is volumetric analysis from the practical portion of classes 11th and 12th, subject chemistry. Let us start. First of all, what is volumetric analysis? Analysis in which amount of substance is determined by measurement of the volume that the substance occupies is called volumetric analysis. It is commonly used to determine the unknown concentration of a known reactant. There are some terms used in volumetric analysis. What are these terms? First of all, titrant. Titrant is a solution of known concentration that is added to another solution to determine the concentration of a second chemical species. What is titer? Volume of required to just completely react with the analyte is the titer. What is analyte? Substance whose quantity or concentration is to be determined is called analyte. Titration. What is titration? A titration is a technique where a solution of known concentration is used to determine the concentration of an unknown solution. What is primary standard? A reagent solution of accurately known concentration is called a primary standard. Standardization. A process to determine the concentration of the solution of known concentration by titrating with a primary standard is called standardization process. Endpoint. The point at which the reaction is observed to be completed is the endpoint. Endpoint is the signal that tells the analyst to stop the reagent. Endpoint is observed with the help of indicator. Equivalent point. The point at which an equivalent amount of titrant is added to the analyte is based on the stoichiometric equation. Let us study equipment used in volumetric analysis. Volumetric analysis involves a few pieces of equipment. First of all, burette. It is a long graduated glass tube with the stopcock at its lower end and a tapered capillary tube at the stopcock's outlet. It is used for pouring measured volumes of solutions. This is diagram of a burette. Pipette. It is also a glass tube that has a bulge in the middle. It is used for measuring accurate and precise volumes of solutions. It is diagram of 25 ml of a pipette. Conical flask. It is a type of laboratory flask which features a flat bottom. Volumetric flask is used to mix two solutions. This is diagram of a 500 ml of conical flask. Wash bottles. These contain distilled water to clean the equipment. Funnels. These are used to transfer of solutions without spilling. Volumetric flux. These are used to make up accurate volumes for the solutions of known concentration. These are the various volumetric flasks. Solutions used in volumetric analysis. There are two types of solutions which are used. Number one, solutions of unknown concentration. Number two, solutions of known concentration. Known concentration solutions also called standard solutions. Let us study how the process of titration is done. First of all, fill the burette with known concentration of an acid or base. Second, take a burette reading from the top of the meniscus. Third, place a flask with the unknown concentration of acid or base under the burette. Fourth, add a few drops of the appropriate indicator to the flask. Fifth, slowly add your titrant to the flask while stirring. Sixth, keep adding the titrate until the color changes. Seventh, take a final reading of the burette. Eighth, repeat the titration 3 to 4 times to get a rough reading. Types of titrations. There are mainly 4 types of titrations. First of all, acid-base titration. Second, redox titrations. Third, precipitation titrations. Fourth, complexometric titrations. What are acid-base titrations? An acid-base titration is a quantitative analysis of acids and bases. Through this process, an acid or base of known concentration neutralizes an acid or base of unknown concentration. The titration process can be monitored by visual indicators, pH electrodes, or both. To understand the concept of acid-base titration, consider the example of hydrochloric acid as sample solution and sodium hydroxide as standard solution, and the reaction will be HCl plus NaOH to gives us NaCl plus H2O. In this, HCl is a solution with unknown concentration and NaOH is a solution with known concentration of 0.1 normal. The apparatus used for this titration are magnetic stirrer, burette stand, conical flask, burette, pipette, and funnel. First of all, put NaOH solution of known concentration to 50 ml burette with the help of funnel. Then transfer 10 ml of HCl solution to conical flask with the help of pipette. Now add magnetic bead to the conical flask and start the stirrer. Then add 2 to 3 drops of phenolphthalein indicator to check the end point. The HCl solution and phenolphthalein will be colorless, but with the addition of Na solution from the burette, it will change to pink, will which will remain persistent for long time. Types of acid base titration. First, strong acid and strong base. For example, hydrochloric acid and sodium hydroxide. Second, weak acid and strong base. For example, ethanoic acid and sodium hydroxide. Third is strong acid and weak base. For example, hydrochloric acid and ammonia. Fourth, weak acid and weak base. For example, ethanoic acid and ammonia. What is titration curve? It is a plot of pH versus milliliters of titrant showing the manner in which pH changes versus milliliters of titrant during an acid-base titration. These are the various titration curves. First for strong acid and strong base. Second is for weak acid and strong base. Third is for strong acid and weak base. Fourth is for weak acid and weak base. Acid base indicators. Acid base indicators, which are also known as pH indicators, are substances which change color with pH. They are usually weak acids or bases which, when dissolved in water, dissociate slightly and form ions. For example, phenolphthalein changes from purple to pink color. Second, methyl orange changes from yellow to orange color. Let us understand the mechanism behind this titration. First, HCl present in the form of H positive and Cl negative ion. Phenolphthalein does not react with H positive or Cl negative ion due to its weak acidic nature. With the addition of NaOH from burette, which is alkaline in nature and present as Na positive and OH negative ions, Na positive ions react with Cl negative ions and OH negative ions react with H positive ions. At the equivalence point, all the NaOH molecules react with all HCl molecules to make the solution neutral of pH 7. If we further add NaOH, solution become alkaline, which ionize the phenolphthalein molecule. H positive of phenolphthalein molecule react with OH negative and Na positive react with phenolphthalein to form a pink color complex, due to which whole solution become pink, and this will be the end point. Redox titrations. In this type of titration, the chemical reaction takes place with the transfer of electrons in the reacting ions of aqueous solutions. These are examples of redox titrations. First, permanganate titrations. In permanganate titrations, potassium permanganate used as an oxidizing agent in the acidic medium. These are the reactions of permanganate titrations. The solution remains colorless before the endpoint. Moreover, potassium permanganate itself acts as indicator to detect the endpoint in these titrations. Second example of redox titration is dichromate titrations. In dichromate titrations, potassium dichromate used as an oxidizing agent in acidic medium. H2SO4 act as an acidic medium, and these are the reactions for dichromate titrations. Precipitation titrations. This titration is based on the insoluble precipitate formation when the two reacting substances are brought into contact are called precipitation titration. For example, when use of the solution of silver nitrate takes place to a solution of ammonium thiocyanate or sodium chloride, it reacts and forms a white precipitate of silver thiocyanate or silver chloride, and these are the reactions for these titrations. Complexometric titrations. The complexometric titration is where an undissociated complex is formed at the equivalence point. It is greater than the precipitation titrations, and there will be no error due to co-precipitations. These are the examples of complexometric titrations. Now, what is direct titration? In a direct titration, you add a standard titrant to the analyte until you reach the endpoint. What is back titration? In a back titration, you add an excess of standard titrate to the analyte and then you titrate the excess titrate to determine how much is in excess. What is requirement for successful volumetric titration? First, the titrant should either be standard or should be standardized. Second, the reaction should proceed to a stable and well-defined equivalence point. Third, the equivalence point must be able to be detected. Fourth, the titrants and samples volume or mass must be accurately known. Fifth, the reaction should proceed by a definite chemistry. Sixth, the reaction rate should be fast enough to be practical. What are various precautions taken during the titration? These are: first, care should be taken while handling the acid and base. For this, we generally use acid in the burette and take base in the titration flask. Second, always rinse the burette and the pipette with the solution which is to be taken in them. Third, remove the air gap, if any, from the burette before titration. Fourth, never forget to remove the funnel from the burette before noting the initial reading of the burette and ensure that no drop is hanging from the nozzle. Fifth, always read the lower meniscus for all transparent solutions and upper meniscus for the colored solutions. Sixth, never use burette and pipette with a broken nozzle. Seventh, never suck a strong acid or a strong alkali with the pipette. Use pipette bulb. Eighth, always keep the lower end of the pipette dipped in the liquid while sucking the liquid. Ninth, while transferring the solution to the flask, do not blow out the last drop of the solution from the jet of the pipette. Tenth, the strength of the solution must be calculated up to the fourth decimal place. Let us do calculations for finding unknown normality of HCl solution by using normality equation, which is N1V1 equal to N2V2. Here N1 is the unknown normality of HCl solution. V1 is the volume used for HCl, which is 10 ml. N2 is the normality of standard solution of NaOH, which is 0.1 N, and V2 is the volume used for NaOH from burette, that is 8 ml. Put all these value, we have N1 multiplied 10 equal to 0.1 multiplied 8.0, or N1 equal to 0.1 multiplied 8.0 divided by 10, that is N1 equal to 0.8 divided by 10 equal to 0.08, which is the unknown normality of HCl solution. Let us determine the strength of a given solution of dilute HCl by titrating it against a standard solution of sodium carbonate. This reaction takes place during titration. 1 mole of sodium carbonate react with 2 mole of HCl to give 2 mole of NaCl, 1 mole of carbon dioxide and 1 mole of water molecules. In this titration, methyl orange, which is a weak base, act as indicator and it will give yellow color with sodium carbonate, and which will turn red when HCl added from burette, which will be the end point. This is the observation chart which should be filled during titration. First column is the serial number of titration. Second column is the volume of sodium carbonate solution used in the conical flask. Third column is for burette reading, that is initial reading and final reading. Fourth column is for volume of HCl solution used, that is the difference between final reading and initial reading. And fifth column is for concordant readings. Let us do calculation for this titration. To calculate the strength of HCl solution, we use molarity equation, that is A1M1V1 equal to A2M2V2. Here A1 are the number of moles of OH negative ions provided by sodium carbonate solution. M1 is the molarity of sodium carbonate solution, and V1 is the volume used in the conical flux of sodium carbonate solution. A2 are the number of moles of H positive ion provided by HCl solution. M2 is the molarity of HCl solution which has to be calculated, and V2 is the volume of HCl solution used from the burette reading. From balanced chemical equation during this titration, we found that value of A1 is equal to 2, value of A2 is equal to 1, molar mass of sodium carbonate is equal to 106 gram per mole, molar mass of HCl is equal to 36.5 gram per mole. Therefore, concentration, that is strength of HCl in gram per mole, will be product of molarity of HCl and molar mass of HCl. Let this product comes to Z gram per mole, which will be the strength of given SCL solution. These are the recapitulation points which we study in our lecture. First, what is volumetric analysis? Second, what is titrant, titrate, analyte? Third, what is titration? Fourth, what is primary standard, standardization, endpoint, equivalent point? Fifth, equipment used in titrations. Sixth, types of titrations such as acid-base, redox, precipitation, complexometric, direct and back titrations. Seventh, setup of titration, its procedure. Eighth, titration curve. Ninth, indicators used in acid-base titrations. And 10th, calculations for acid-base titrations. These are some questions for your practice. Answer them. First, what do you mean by volumetric analysis? Second, give name of some equipment used in titrations. Third, what are indicators? Give one example. Fourth, give name of different types of titrations. Fifth, what is endpoint in a titration? Sixth, give molarity equation used in acid-base titrations. Seventh, what do you mean by back? Students, I hope I able to cover maximum topics from volumetric analysis and teach you in an easy way. I like to thank Mr. J. Saini, our DM Chemistry District Gurdaspur, under whose valuable guidance this video lecture is prepared. Thanks to all for watching my video lecture.